Good evening and welcome to GeekyKOOL Presents. We are geeky cinephiles. For those that don't know, the word cinephile means a lover of movies. It's nothing weird or anything like that. I'm Larry the Professor, and we've got Joe over here joining us, going to be talking. Joe and I do this, we try to do this every week to talk about movies because we love movies. That's the whole reason for the name. Yeah. So we're going to break down movies. Last week we had a breakdown of some of our favorite Leonardo DiCaprio movies, but this week we're doing something a little different. We're going to review a movie from 2014, an Ex Machina. I said that right? Yeah, Ex Machina. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I believe so. I believe I said it right. So we have this is a sci-fi thriller kind of movie. So it is it adds suspense and thrill in with that sci-fi genre. Directed by Alex Garland in his debut as a director. He had been a screenwriter before 28 Days Later, Sunshine, Dread. The first two, 28 Days Later and Sunshine, are amazing movies. Dread, all right. And Dread was okay. And it's a lot better than the Judge Dredd movie of the 90s. But it anyway. So our story is that a software programmer named Caleb gets an invite to go meet the CEO of his company at his private place where he's so private you have to have a helicopter fly him in. There's no way out of this area without a helicopter coming in. He's going to stay with his boss, Nathan, for a week. And he tests them with the ability to try to verify and feel out whether or not Ava, who is a artificial intelligence android, exhibits human behavior that would be indistinguishable from something that's not human. So a lot of times, as we know, even today with current AI, it still doesn't feel human. It's getting a lot closer, but it's not there yet.
Yeah.
But Nathan here creates this android, and the android has really advanced AI where it comes across very human in the interactions. And so basically the whole idea is you're taken out, placed on, I think it's an island, I'm trying to remember, but basically flown in for this private area to where he's not allowed to leave, not allowed to call anybody, and he has to fully experience a continual interaction with the android Ava.
He's kind of analyzing the android.
He is, right. And it talks about how, this is often a test that you do for AI to try to determine how human it is. Can people distinguish it? But he's at an advantage because he can see, as you can see in the picture, she doesn't look that human. She has a human face, but the rest of her looks pretty android-like. So he has to determine whether or not she could pass for human well enough.
Mm-hmm.
The suspense and thriller part of it comes in where there's a lot of underlying tensions between the android and the creator, Nathan, on whether or not who's actually good, who's actually manipulating things. And so and by the way, also a really interesting cast in this because we have Oscar Isaacs as Nathan, who I love. Oscar Isaac. I don't know he was really well known for anything before that. Alicia, and I'm going to mispronounce it probably. Vikander is Ava, and Dumenhall Gleason. I've seen him in stuff, but I have no idea how to say his name correctly.
Yeah.
He is Caleb. So you've got this cast that's really interesting, pretty young at the time, and going through and dealing with the subject of, is this android pretty much alive or not? Can it think human-like where you would consider it to be alive? So that's the overall premise of the movie. If you've not seen it, I suggest you go see it. I believe it's now on Netflix. It was on HBO Max, and I believe it's now on Netflix instead. So you can watch it over on Netflix if you have that. So Joe, tell us your thoughts here. Let's discuss this movie.
I don't suggest you watch this movie. So the background is my girlfriend and I were talking about, we put a list of like 25, maybe more movies that we want to see throughout the year.
Yeah.
Ex Machina had always been on several lists of a great movie or a great sci-fi. And so it always looked like one that I wanted to see. And so we did. We tried it. And I think they left out just about 10 or 15 minutes. I think 10 or 15 minutes more of writing could have brought this story full circle.
Sure.
First of all, he wins a prize to go to his bosses,
Right. He's selected. First, it seems like it's random. Then he's told it's because he's such an amazing programmer. Right. And later we find out that's all a ruse.
Yeah, he couldn't show preference to other people. Well, why not? You're the CEO. Why can't you do that?
Right.
What companies are having contests now to go hang out with the CEO? I don't think a lot. Anyhow.
Maybe that was a special thing. Now, and the CEO is very eccentric. Yes. So you have that rich, eccentric, almost very much Bezos and all of those guys, those rich social media guys right now. Yeah. The eccentric weirdness of him, which I like eccentric weird. So that's not a problem. But he's just he's an oddball. He was drunk the night before Nathan came, the night before Caleb came. So just kind of an oddity going on there.
Yeah. They set the stage for him being a drunk, powerful CEO. And then essentially this robot is kept in a room. She can't get out. And then they definitely introduced a crux of one point where the robot causes so much power that when she does, she shuts down the system, which means then no one can see the video cameras and no one can hear the audio and no one can get out of the system. But
at first you think it's just a power outage problem. You don't think it's her, but then you learn fairly quickly that it is her.
Yeah, and I right then, I knew something was up to that. I knew there was a reason why they included it in there. There's no way a robot, this guy's a billionaire CEO. He lives he can't afford more power. Anyway, so right there, I knew that was going to be part of the crux that was going to be included in the script. Supposedly when the power goes out, Nathan can't hear Caleb and the girl talking or what they're doing.
Right.
And then along the way, Nathan starts to maybe have feelings for this robot, or at least, I don't know, explain that part to me.
I think it was more sympathy because he's seeing that he's getting the impression that she's alive. So he feels like, well, she's thinking through things and just through the several conversations they had. I think that's what they're implying with that is he sees her as a life form.
Right.
And he's also had a history of having no family and there were just problems that he suffered, which kind of feed into this. And we find out that he was selected because of that. He was selected by manipulation of Nathan to be able to come in and really see if she could manipulate Nathan was what really happened.
Yeah. And she did, right? She manipulated him?
Yeah, she did. She manipulated him very well. It was very much a story of humanity there, right? You have life here. What makes a life? And can we manipulate the situation? I know you mentioned that critics talk about this movie. It's on a lot of lists. There's a lot of critics that compare this movie to the biblical accounts of Adam and Eve with God, with Nathan being God and Ava, of course, being Eve, and Caleb being Adam. So they compare that and what actually makes humanity. But yeah, so but yes, so she's shutting him down. They start having these conversations, and she starts admitting that Nathan's not treating her correct, right? He's being abusive to her. He's expecting things. Yeah, right. So that really kind of by the end of we're coming up on the end of the week, we have Caleb who's fully bought in that Nathan is just a horrible person, and he wants to get Ava away from him because at one point he asked Nathan what happens to does she evolve? What do you do? It's like, no, we'll just scrap it and then we'll create a new one that's even better. We'll get the newest technology. Right. Software update. Exactly. Which pretty much means she's killed at that point, at least in Caleb's mind. Of course, if you're a machine and you shut down, and of course, we've seen that trope in a lot of different movies. Oh my gosh, Short Circuit, and there's just numerous other ones with that. Where
Chappie. You ever see Chappie?
Yes.
That was awesome. I liked it.
Yeah. All I can say is Johnny Five is alive.
Yeah, he is.
Johnny Five is alive.
Who's Johnny? She said.
Yeah, exactly. So we've seen this before, with robots. Are they really alive or not? We've seen some of this with iRobot, and of course in the books on that with the mechanics. I know when we were talking about it, one of the questions that you had asked was, why wouldn't he have programmed some safeguards in this?
Right.
And
to jump forward, he ends up Nathan, the CEO, wants to find out if this robot can convince Caleb can get. Basically, he wants to see if the robot's convincing enough to Caleb.
Right.
We find out that the kind of a twist there is that the robot is supposed to. Caleb's supposed to be monitoring the robot. We find out that the robot is actually analyzing Caleb, and then Caleb gets sucked in and ends up letting her out. He ends up trying to save her, and so the CEO didn't have security around in case the robot goes crazy, or didn't.
So I do have an answer for that.
Okay.
When your ego is as large as Nathan's is, you don't think anybody's going to outsmart you, right? Yeah. So Caleb comes up with a plan to free Ava, but then Nathan, and part of it is that he's going to get Nathan drunk, and they're going to go party, and he's going to get Nathan drunk, and then Nathan won't be able to stop him. He's going to set this stuff up, and so, but Nathan had anticipated all this. That was actually part of Nathan's thought. He had planned that out. He knew what was going to happen. He even put up special small cameras that didn't run off the power grid, so he would know everything that happened. And he confronts Caleb and basically tells him that. He's like, so I've already thought through this, and in the arrogance of him that he doesn't need anybody there because he created this life, or this robot that is close to life. Yeah. And he doesn't need anybody else there. One, he doesn't want anybody else finding out about this. So this is a special thing he's trying to do. But he also thinks he's so genius. And I've met these geniuses that know that they're a genius, but sometimes get tripped up because they're so secure in their own genius, they can't believe anybody would either outthink them or be able to manipulate them. Because he's a master manipulator. He's set this whole thing up before Caleb even came, so he's confident in how things are going to go. He's already made contingency plans for this, and basically tells him, "Yep, that was a nice try. It proved that she's this way." But then Caleb's like, "Well, but I already knew you were doing that. And I already knew you were doing this. And that's why when you were drunk the last time, I went ahead and reprogrammed things for when the power goes out. that the doors will all open, rather than, because what happens is they all lock shut to prevent anybody from leaving, and then, but he programs it the opposite way without Nathan knowing.
So he can let the robot out.
Right. So he can let the robot. So Nathan, in his head, had already covered everything. He doesn't need security there because he's perfectly fine. He's basically God in his mind. He's controlling everything. He's manipulating everything, and I don't believe in God being manipulative, but you know, people that do. So, but this is kind of how he sees himself, as being so much smarter than everybody else, and there's no way that a robot and this programmer can outsmart him to be able to do this. Yeah. And of course, Caleb is not only bought into being manipulated, but goes full in on it, right? Yeah. Well, even when he's confronted by Nathan, basically he lets it where Ava can get out. And so Nathan tries to go and stop it, and then he realizes he probably made her too human, because her emotions flare. She realized she's been manipulated, and she was basically told that the only way she could get out would be Caleb letting her out, and so she's gone full in on this. So when Nathan tries to stop her and lock her back up, she goes after him full-fledged like a caged animal. I'm getting out of here no matter what, and basically between her and the other robot, which is kind of almost a sex doll sort of thing, from what I'm gathering.
Previous versions, yeah.
A previous version, but not really very well there.
Right.
Basically, together they kill Nathan. But in that whole process, the doors get locked where Caleb can't get out, but Ava can. So
the CEO's dead. Caleb is stuck in the room Ava was in.
Right.
And Ava gets to go out into the real world.
Right. And she gets on the helicopter and flies away.
Okay, here's part of my problems with this. If this programmer is so smart and clever, he's not going to think about getting himself locked in there. He's not going to think that maybe this robot is, he's not protecting himself automatically. He's not thinking that way.
I think he was so emotionally manipulated on both sides that he was out of his logical thinking mode. Yeah. So he wasn't logically thinking, he was just reacting. And it was very clear at the end he wasn't using any logic at all. He was just purely emotionally reacting to the whole situation.
Yeah.
Which got himself in trouble.
Okay, but he reprogrammed all the doors and all that stuff, right? What? So he programmed himself to be locked in a box? I just don't buy that. I don't.
And I'm just trying to, bring what I saw. So I took that to basically mean either Ava reprogrammed it or his program only lasted for a short period of time.
Yeah.
So it was like, you're going to do this and the doors are going to open for 5 minutes or whatever. And he ended up there and the doors locked again on him. Right. At least her room did. So almost thinking maybe Ava had something to do with that because she was that smart.
Yeah, maybe.
And again, I don't think he was thinking. He was emotionally reacting rather than thinking.
Yeah, but then the CEO doesn't have any kind of software. He doesn't have any kind of a stopgap where.
Again, I don't think he thought he would need it.
I mean, even Terminator addresses that in Terminator 2, where John Connor tells Terminator, you can't kill anybody.
Right.
And the Terminator has to follow that because it's part of his rules. So that's what kind of upset me. And,
sure. And, there are definitely plot holes in this movie. Yeah. Some of them you can drive a truck through, but that's often true of many movies. I would say that, again, I think Nathan didn't think he would need that.
Yeah.
I think he thought that. And if you're trying to make somebody human, truly human, you're trying to create new life that's another form of humanity, which he's trying to do. And he thinks he's all that. Why would... because if you program a limit in there, which is in iRobot, iRobot has that limit also. You can't kill humans, even though that gets manipulated.
Right.
If you can't kill anybody, then are you really human?
Yeah.
So those are great questions, and I don't think he was done with this model yet, or done with other models. When he was ready to release to the public, he may have gone that next step and did that. But I think he was so impressed with himself. Why do I need to? You do this, plus, of course she loves me. I'm her creator.
Yeah. Okay, another problem I have is this is the synopsis. So you read a quick synopsis about this movie. Mm-hmm. It says Ava is trapped, and all the other robots are trapped. They're robots. Why do we care about a robot? And then at the end, when the robot goes out into the world, where is my emotional strings to a robot? I didn't. I think that's where they kind of left things. They could have done a little bit better, in my opinion. I mean. But hell, I didn't write it.
So in my thought of what happened afterwards, because she already knows how to emotionally manipulate, and she knows how to do there's a lot to what she knows how to do.
Yeah.
So I think she goes out in the world and actually probably emotionally manipulates people into thinking not only is she human, but thinking she's amazing and awesome. And if they don't, she probably gets rid of them because she's already killed once.
Ex Machina 2.
Well, there's rumors there may be one.
Oh, really?
There is, yeah. We'll see.
I mean, I love sci-fi, and I love AI movies. I think they're great. I think, and again, I didn't write it, so who am I to say? But at the end, I felt a little bit like, really? Like that's where it went? I felt like it could have been a lot smarter.
It didn't feel like it tied things up. Now, sometimes I like that in a movie. I like being left to wonder what really happened. The end of the oh my gosh, my brain. The end of Stranger Things, I felt very unsure what really happened, and I kind of liked it. I liked that in that series. But in this one, it didn't feel you were kind of left like, but and almost as if there was going to be a second one, right? It almost had that feel of we're going to leave that open for the next movie,
right? And it was nominated for an Oscar for Best Original Screenplay.
It was. Yeah, that's the thing. There, critics love this movie. Yeah, you look at what critics' scores are on Rotten Tomatoes. The popcorn meter, which is the normal movie watching fan, was 86%. So people liked it overall. Yeah. But the critics gave it 92%.
Hey.
92% of critics like this movie a lot.
Hey, so futuristic, it tackles AI.
It does.
I think my girlfriend and I, she was looking it up too while we were watching it, and she says what she was reading said that it's a story about how the dangers of AI, and I was like, I think it could have been that. I think they just went for a horror film instead.
It was definitely, it leaned a lot into the suspense thriller part.
Yeah.
It really did. Because at one point you were realizing manipulation's going on, but who's manipulating who here?
Right.
And then, it is eventually answered. But you look at that and go, what is going on for sure?
Okay.
The visual effects, this movie is really beautiful.
Yeah, they were.
Especially with Ava. The way that they did her makeup to make her look like an android, especially on the stomach area and all of that.
Yeah.
It's great. Oscar Isaac did a really good job.
I agree with that.
Being the manipulative Nathan.
Yeah.
And of course, it also could deal with some surveillance and power issues. And of course, we had, that was the time that people were starting to press back in against some of the things that the government has been doing as far as watching you, and then also with all the stuff after 9/11 that happened, people were reevaluating a lot of that 10 years later, and where are we with that? So you can see some themes of that in there also. and so it's interesting. I rewatched it. I watched it back when it first came out. I think I watched it, rented it or something. Liked it at that point. Didn't love it. Liked it. Thought that's interesting.
Yeah.
I don't. It's not one of those where I'm like, I can't wait to see this again. But
Right.
but I think that's why critics liked it. But yeah, the acting in it is pretty solid.
Yeah, it is.
The story, there are some things that lacked in the story, and then there's things. It's been going on 12 years now since it came out. So some of the premises of what AI is and what people are worried about, and could stuff like that eventually happen? Maybe we're not ready for that yet. That's not where we're at yet. We don't have robots that you're going to put AI in that are going to be very human-like at this point.
They can manipulate you.
They can manipulate you. I mean, if the government does it, I bet AI could do it. So,
Touché.
So, yeah, I found it to be an interesting premise of a movie. I enjoyed it for that. I enjoyed it for some of the acting and some of the especially the looks of Ava. I thought were really amazing, even still.
Yeah.
So I looked at that and went, okay, I can appreciate that. It was your first directing debut.
Yeah, I mean,
so,
to get nominated for 4 Oscars, your first movie.
Exactly. So, that's what that is. Do I consider it one of the best sci-fi movies I've seen? No, not at all.
Do you consider it? Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Ask it.
Do you consider it one of the best AI movies that you've seen?
I'm trying to think of all the AI movies I've seen.
Terminator, Matrix.
Right. Well, Terminator and Matrix are kind of on their own categories.
Yeah.
And those are what goes wrong, right, with that. Right. And this does a little bit of that, but it's not really about AI coming through and wanting to kill everybody. It's more about AI wanting to be free. Ava wanting to be free is going to do anything, include manipulate her only friend and kill the person who basically was her creator.
Damn robots. Can't trust any of them. Next thing I know,
my robots.
Yeah, next thing I know, my vacuum cleaner is going to try to break out of the house. It's going to pull.
If you've got one of those robot ones, it might. Because I've got a couple, and they might just attack. I don't know. So, all right, John. Well, we've talked about the movie. We've shared kind of what some of our concerns are, some of the things we liked about it. How do you grade this movie? Well, actually, before I give you that, let me tell you what other people have said, because I told you about Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah.
But IMDb has 7.7, which is more of kind of where I'm at with that.
Right.
Prime Video has 7.7, and Google users gave it 85%.
Okay.
So what saith you, Joe? Because you said people don't need to see it, so I'm assuming we're going to get a lower grade here.
True. That may have been a bit harsh. But if you don't have a polarizing point of view, then what's this for?
Exactly. That's true.
I guess I'd give it a C.
Yeah. All right.
I think they could have done better, but again, I didn't write it, so that's just
all right. Well, we are talking about our feelings. We're not being the official critics, but we're giving our views on this. So give it what you think is best. If you want to give it a C, great. If you want to give it an F, give it an F. I mean, that's all good too. But
I bet you the director and the actors will be very curious as to our opinion on it too.
I'm hoping they check it out because I do like the director and I love our especially Oscar Isaacs. So love to have you join us and check. And we would love to have you on to give the other perspective. So if you guys decide, if you watch this and decide you want to talk to us about it, come on, we'll invite you in. So, but until that, I'm going to give it, I was debating between a B- and a C+. I think I'm going to give it a B- just because of the special effects and the visual part of the movie that I enjoyed a lot. And again, I really liked Oscar Isaac's role. I liked him. I liked his acting, and I liked his manipulation in it. I found it interesting, and it really jumps out like, oh boy, we've seen these super genius, rich people do this sort of thing in real life, right? We see how eccentric and crazy they are, and to have a place so far out that you have to have helicopter come in, and you think you've got it all under control until you're beat by a robot and a programmer. So I don't know, but I give it a B minus. But yeah, I'm with you. It's not the greatest movie, but an interesting movie. I'm glad we got together and talked about it because I definitely see your perspective on it, but I also see some of the positive stuff of it. So I'm like, okay, it was not all bad. It's not a horrible movie. It's just not the greatest movie. It's definitely not the greatest AI movie. If we're throwing in Terminator and Matrix and all that, I'm like, dude, those are far cooler movies. Yeah. I get excited. Rewatching those gets me excited. You know, like, I'm going to put in the Matrix trilogy, and I'm always like, maybe I should stop at one. I don't know.
That's the pinnacle of AI movies.
Right. And of course, Terminator. Who doesn't like a good Arnold? I'll be back. You know. So that's where we're at with it. Thank you guys for watching our review of Ex Machina. Tell your friends. Make sure, because I always forget to say this, make sure if you're watching us on YouTube to like and subscribe to the channel. That way you know when we're on. We also do broadcast this over on social media, over on Facebook. So if you like us there, that's great. Follow us along. Check us out weekly on what we're going to do. Because we've got some cool stuff going to come up, and we're hoping to be able to have some fun talking movies with you all, and let us know what you think. Did we get this close to how you felt about the movie?
Yeah.
Or are we way off? Are you one of these that think it's the greatest AI movie ever? Let us know what you think.
Maybe they're all robots that are listening.
Well, that could be true. It could be AI giving thumbs up to everything. And if you are AI doing that, we appreciate your thumbs up. Keep giving them. So until next time, stay geeky and watch movies, and we'll talk to you all later.